All right, so just a little disclaimer, guys. As I don't really know what it means to lack of something. So if you know what it means to lack of something, tell me in the comments below. All right. So anyway, hey guys, SKNY 1996 here. And as you can basically tell by the title and the thumbnail of this video, this is going to be an important message to anyone who lacks of going to the doctors. I think to me, to lack of something, like to lack of going to the doctors, means they hate it or something. But I'm not 100% sure. That's just my guess. So anyway, hey guys. So, do you have a doctor's appointment tomorrow? Or do you have a doctor's appointment next week or the week after or whenever your doctor's appointment is? And well, whenever that doctor's appointment is, do you guys ever lack of it? You don't like going to the doctor. You don't because you don't want to go to the doctor, whether if you are sick or if it's just for a checkup. Well, listen, I'm sorry that you don't like to go to the doctors. I didn't like to go to the doctors when I was little, but as of right now, for my doctor visits every now and then, well, I'm just going to keep it private. Yeah. Now, listen, guys. Like I said, I know you don't like to go to the doctor, but you have to go to the doctor. We all have to go to the doctors, whether if we are sick or if we need to have a checkup. That's just how life is. It's important to see a doctor at least once a year. The doctors are just wanting to make sure that you're healthy. You know, yes, I know the first thing they do is talk to you, ask how you're doing and stuff. And they're also here to listen to you and stuff. And of course the first thing they do is check in your ears, they check your eyes, your nose, your reflexes, your kneecaps and everything, and they ask you to open your mouth and say ah. They might ask you to just also stick out your tongue and say and and they have to check your insides and all the other stuff that doctors do to check their patients, and then they have to get a shot at the end. I might make a video about people who don't like to get shots, so stay tuned for that. But we're not here to talk about getting shots. We're here to talk about people who lack of going to the doctors. Like I said, guys, I know you don't like to go to the doctors, and I know you don't want to go to the doctors, but you have to go to the doctors. We all have to go to the doctors. If we don't go to the doctors, well, who knows what could happen if we don't go to the doctors? You know, if maybe if we don't go to the doctors, we won't know if we're healthy or not. Like I already said before, also, it's important to see your doctor once a year, but that doesn't just include regular doctors. No, this includes other doctors like dentists, orthodontists, optometrists, dermatologists, radiologists, endocrinologists, and other types of doctors. I might make another video about people who lack or don't like going to the dentists or orthodontists. So stay tuned for that as well. But we're still here talking about regular doctors. Now, guys, if if you guys were little and you saw your pediatrician, that's a doctor who takes care of minors, for people who were born until they are the age of 17. You know, when you go to see your pediatrician, or when you went to see your pediatrician, and or those of you who are still minors, like if you're in your teens, like from 13 to 17, I'm pretty sure your pediatrician will say, "Well, hello. How are you today? Are you here for your checkup? All right, but let's have a talk first, and then we'll get started." And all that other stuff that pediatricians pediatricians always say to their patient minors. You know, you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah. But once again, guys, I know you don't like to go to the doctors, and I know you don't want to go to the doctors, but all in all, we all have to go to the doctors. Because if we don't go to the doctors, we won't know, oh, if we're healthy, and we also won't know what to take when we are sick. Like if we are coughing or sneezing, or if we have if our oops or if our throats are sore, or if we have headaches, or if our face is hot, if our faces are hot, that is, or if we lost our voices, or whatever else the case may be. We don't know where else to go to except, the ER in the hospital or something. So all in all, guys, even if you don't like to go to the doctors, or if you don't want to go to the doctors, we all have to go to the doctors because it's just it's just part of our lives. You know, we all need to see a doctor. We are human. We have to see doctors. We have to see all kinds of doctors. There's, like I already mentioned, not just regular doctors, but there are other doctors as well, like dentists, orthodontists, dermatologists, endocrinologists, radiologists, optometrists, and other types of doctors. So even if you don't want to go to the doctor, or if you don't like to go to the doctor, you're going to have to go to the doctor no matter how many times you refuse or tell your parents, "I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to go to the doctor." Your parents will tell you that you have to go to the doctor. I'm pretty sure your parents told you that you had to go to the doctor when you were little, and I bet you and I'm pretty sure that and I'm pretty sure that they still tell you that when you keep telling them that you don't want to go to the doctor. But do you guys still tell your parents that you don't want to go to the doctors? And if you do your parents still tell you that you have to? Because you need to stop complaining about refuse. I mean, you have to stop saying, "I'm stuck here, guys. Sorry." You need to stop telling your parents that you don't want to go to the doctor, because no matter how many times you tell your parents that you don't want to go to the doctor, they're going to tell you that you have to until you get used to it. You know, I know most of you find going to the doctor's a complete waste of time, but I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. No matter how old you are, you need to go to the doctors. It's important to see your doctor at least once a year. You know, they just want to make sure that you're healthy. That's all there is. And if there's ever something that's bothering you, you can talk to them about it. Whether if it's about the appointment itself or if it's something different, the doctors and nurses are here to listen to you. They're not just here to examine you. They're just here to check to make sure you are listened. That you're speaking up. You know, oh, of course you know. You know, you have to know how to advocate for yourself. Advocate is another word for speaking up for yourself. Of, you need to learn, you know you need to learn to be an advocate or a self advocate. You know that it's, they both mean to speak up for yourselves. So once again, guys, I know you don't like to go to the doctors, and I know you don't want to go to the doctors, but you have to go to the doctors. It's important to see your doctors at least once a year for your checkup. They just want to make sure you're healthy. Nothing else but that. Alright, guys, so that's all I have to say for now. This is SKNY1996 signing off. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and have a good night.